everybody, it's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for my pile of possibilities for the amazing Readathon. So we're not doing a TBR today, we're doing a pile of possibilities, and that is because I have decided to join the amazing Readathon. This is a month-long Readathon that is happening throughout the entire month of August and has been created by the absolutely wonderful Brianna over at 4 Paws and a Book. If you have not already subscribed to Brianna or you don't know about the amazing Readathon, I highly recommend that you go and check out her announcement video, subscribe to her channel, and if you are interested, get on board. It's going to be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It is based around the TV show The Amazing Race. So the idea essentially is that you travel from place to place, you complete challenges in each place, you have a bunch of GRC, which I believe stands for Great Readathon Currency, something like that. But anyway, you have a bunch of money that you can spend on getting around the world and fulfilling those prompts. The way that you fulfill the prompts is by reading books, and you get points for the position that your team comes in the race. You get points for certain things that you manage to achieve, like if your team colour is on the cover, it has to be 50% that colour or more, but if you have 50% or more of your team colour on the cover, you will get extra points. If you read a host favourite, I'm not sure how many hosts there are, but there's quite a few. I think there are like 5 teams and 3 hosts each. So there's quite a few hosts, and they all have given about 4 or 5 favourites. So there's many books to choose from. So I don't think that I'll have any problem finding a book that will fit there. And anyway, if you do read a book that is a host favourite, then you will get extra currency. I think if you read a book by a BIPOC author, you get extra points and also translated. I'm not sure if that's all there are, I can't quite remember. But either way, I decided that the team that I was going to go for was Team Yellow. Now, I hear many of you saying, but Mel, clearly your favourite colour is purple. I mean, clearly my favourite colour is purple. So why on earth would you choose not to be on Team Purple? The reason was because Bree suggested in her announcement video that you go around and look at all the books that you might like to read in August and see what colour is predominantly on most of those books. Because you get the points, the extra points, why not pick the team that matches the colour on most of those books? So I decided to go with yellow because my friend Michelle and I decided that we wanted to buddy read a book in the month of August which has a yellow cover, and that is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. It is very yellow. It is definitely more than 50% a yellow cover, so it will definitely give me those extra 50 points, which is what I think you get. It's also written by a BIPOC author, so that's some extra points there. It's reasonably short, and I have heard from a number of people that have read the book that it is quite the page turner, so I should be able to get through it relatively quickly, which means that it won't take me a super long time to get on from whatever challenge I read it for to the next challenge. And I believe it was one of Bree's favourite books, so I would end up with extra currency for that as well. So that was kind of where the decision to join the yellow team was. I don't own any yellow clothes, so the best I could do was this kind of gold necklace, but anyway, yellow is the colour that I've joined. I'm not going to let you know who all of the different team captains are because, like I said, there are quite a few and we would be here for ages. But I will just let you know that my team captains are Aoife from Pretty Purple Polka Dots, Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, and Neva from Reading Reneva. All of the people who I talk about in this video, all of their channels will be in the description below, so you can go and check out their channels, subscribe, do all those things. But yeah, they're all fantastic people, all amazing content creators. You should definitely go and check them out. So yeah, that's the team. Hello, if you're joining in and you're in Team Yellow, go Team Yellow. before I move on to the rest of the pile of possibilities, I just want to address the Magical Reads readathon that's also happening in August. Normally I do the Magical Reads in April and August. I absolutely love the Magical Reads readathon, created and hosted by G from Books Roast, and I wanted to try and do both at the same time, but to be honest with you, I just couldn't do that. I don't have the mental bandwidth for that at the moment. So what I've decided to do is to do the Amazing Readathon in August, and then I will defer my autumn semester to another month. I'm assuming that that would be totally fine. I can't imagine G would mind or even know. But also, you know, that's the kind of thing you can do at university. I assume you can do it at a William Academy. So that's my plan. I do have one book, however, that I still need to read for my spring equinox semester, so it kind of works out for me to read it this month anyway. So yeah, that's the plan. As you've already been told, Yellowface is definitely on the TBR. I will fit it in somehow, somewhere, and definitely will be reading the book. So I've got a pile of books that have yellow on the cover. I'm hoping that most of these will count as 50% or more yellow on the cover, and potentially be books that I will read depending on the prompts, how much time I have, how much reading I end up doing, how much work I get, what else is going on, etc. I do also have 2 books that I need to read for book clubs. So we have End Papers by Jennifer Safran Kelly. I don't really know anything much about this one. It was chosen for the Last to Read book club by one of our members, Eli, and it sounds really amazing, but I don't really know anything about it. So I'm just going to read the first paragraph from the Goodreads description. But anyway, it's called End Papers, and it says, an accessible character-driven story set in 2003 New York City about a genderqueer book conservator who feels trapped by her gender presentation, her ill-fitting relationship, and her artistic block as she discovers a decades-old hidden queer love letter and becomes obsessed with tracking down its author. Yeah, it sounds really cool, and I'm very keen to read it, so definitely need to read that in August. Then I also have Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, which is the book club for my In Real Life book club, which doesn't really have a name. We are actually doing that and then reading that and then watching the movie. It sounds like it's going to be really, really fun. It's about an older woman, English woman, going to Paris and just having a great time, as far as I know. So I definitely need to read those 2, and obviously my buddy read of Yellowface. But now, let's talk about the rest of the books. So the first few books in my pile are books that are an amount of yellow on the cover, and then I have 2 books that aren't yellow but that I'd like to read in August anyway. First up, we have Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Six of Crows duology. It is a Grisha book, so it's set in that world of the Shadow and Bone Grisha trilogy. I don't know what's going to happen in this one. In the first book, it was a band of thieves and they were doing a heist, basically. I really, really enjoyed the first one. I thought it was well written and fun, and so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I've been meaning to read it for ages and ages and ages and just haven't quite managed to get around to it, so I definitely want to pick it up soon. It is on my 45 before I turn 45, and I would say that that is more than 50%, well, gold. I mean, I know it's black in the background, but there's a lot of gold on here, so I'm hoping that that would count and be allowed if I get to it. So there's that one. Then we have Surrender by Bono. It says 40 Songs, Our Story. This is Bono from U2's latest autobiography, and I think the idea is that he's taken 40 songs that U2 have put out and sort of talked about his life and the band's life within the theme of those songs. Now, I realised that you couldn't argue that that is 40% yellow or 50% yellow on the dust jacket. However, if you take off the dust jacket, it is pretty much completely yellow. So I think it counts, especially given that I will be reading it without the dust jacket because I always take off my dust jackets when I read hardcovers. Also, look at these yellow end papers. So at some point in August, if this one fits any of the prompts, I will potentially pick it up. I know that it's kind of chunky, as actually was Crooked Kingdom, but I'm hoping that it won't be super hard to read, that it will be fairly fast-paced. we'll see. We'll see how we go. But anyway, that is a potential book for August as well. Then we have Homegoing by Ya Garci. I don't remember really anything about this book. I picked it up a few years ago now, just haven't got around to reading it, even though I'm very intrigued to read it. I realise the front is yellow, but if you were really being pedantic, you'd probably argue that it's more black, but the back is definitely yellow, so I think it still works. It says on the back, Afia and Essie, two sisters with two very different destinies, one sold into slavery, one a slave trader's wife. The consequences of their fate reverberate through the generations that follow. From the Gold Coast of Africa to the plantations of Mississippi, from the missionary schools of Ghana to the dive bars of Harlem. Spanning continents and generations, Ya Garci has written a miraculous novel, an intense, heartbreaking story of one family, and through their lives, the story of America itself. So it sounds fantastic. It sounds really heartbreaking, but like it could potentially be really, really amazing. It's not super long. I'm hoping I'll be able to read it reasonably quickly and be not too far behind all of the prompts. It does depend when these books end up fitting what prompts, because I'm not a super fast reader, but if I can get Yellowface and this one and some of the other smaller ones in there, then hopefully I should be okay. But anyway, this is also one of the hosts' favourites. I'm pretty sure it came up next to Cal as one of their favourites. So again, that will give me some extra cash. So that's fantastic. Also, it is written by a BIPOC author, which again will give me some extra points. And of course, the yellow cover will give me extra points as well. Okay. I picked up this one because the spine looks like it's got yellow on it. And I knew that that was like part of this kind of cloud elephant thing, but I think the spine has actually had a lot of sun damage and it's actually more orange, which unfortunately can't really be argued is yellow, because obviously it's mixed with red, and so who would get it, the red team or the yellow team? So it won't give me any of those points. However, I have been meaning to read The Fifth Elephant for months. This is one of the ones that I picked out for the spring equinox back in April for Magical Reads, and I never got to it. It is for the book for Wolf on the cover, and I can't actually remember what subject that was for. But anyway, there's wolves down the bottom here. It is a Discord novel. It is the 5th book in the Watch series, which is one of the series within the overarching Discworld series. The Discworld series is a fantasy series that takes place on a world that is a disc that travels through space on the back of 4 elephants, and that they in turn travel on the back of Great Achuan, the sky turtle. And this is kind of playing off the idea of the 5th element, but it is saying, what if there was in fact a 5th elephant? What happened to it? Etc. I've read this one before, really, really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reading it as well. Then we have She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. Again, this is a bit of a tricky one. Is it more orange or is it more yellow? What do you think? I would say it is yellow. Like, I would say it's probably just slightly like 50% yellow, but I could definitely understand why people would argue that it's orange. So it's basically supposed to be, if you wouldn't want the other team to claim it for themselves, would you claim it for yourself? So let me know which way you would go, because I'm very uncertain what I would do if I were on the red team. But anyway, this is a potential as well. It is the first book in a series which I know almost nothing about, other than the fact that it is about a young woman who is given a fortune from a fortune teller when she's a young girl, and so is her brother, and hers is basically she'll amount to nothing, and the brother's is that he'll be this great amazing hero, but then he dies and she decides to take on his persona. It also says on the back, a thrilling reimagining of the Ming Dynasty's first emperor. So I've heard nothing but amazing things about this one. I have been very excited to read it. Unfortunately, many of these things mean that I'm starting another series, but that's okay. We forbear. But anyway, that's potential for the month of August as well. And then the final yellow book that I will hopefully be reading in the month of August is More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. This is for a vlog that I'm doing at the moment, which I'm not going to go into details about. I don't really know much about this book, but I know that it's a young adult contemporary, so I'll hopefully fit it in. It is yellow, so I should get the points for that one as well. And then my final yellow book, which is definitely going to count as 50 or more % yellow, is Gone by Michael Grant. So this is the first book in a series as well. This is a dystopian, young adult dystopian novel. It says, in Perdido Beach, all adults have disappeared and no one knows why. Kids under 15 have been trapped, cut off from the outside world. Sam Temple and his friends must do all they can to survive. Chaos rules the streets, gangs begin to form, but when some of them start to develop strange powers, everyone, strong or weak, is forced to choose a side. And then it says, the Gone series is Lord of the Flies for the 21st century, and it is the first in a series of 6 books. So that's a big undertaking, but I don't imagine that it will be a super slow read, and I think, even though it's fairly chunky, I think I'll get through it quite quickly. I've just heard that it's quite the page turner as well, and it's young adult, which I usually find a little bit quicker to get through than the same thickness of adult. This is a book that my sister sent to me because she loved this series and she wants me to read it, so she sent it to me, the first one, for my birthday. And I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to give it a try, hopefully in August. So that's my last yellow book. And then I have 3 other books that I would like to try and get to in August that are not going to fit the yellow cover, but are books that I'd like to read. So the first one is The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. I've put this on quite a few different TBRs and haven't got to it yet. I really, really want to read it. I loved the 10,000 Doors of January, also by this author. I think that I'll love this one. I've heard amazing things about it. It is historical fiction with witches, basically. It's about the suffragette movement, and yeah, like I said, witches, and yeah, I've heard amazing things about it, so I definitely want to read it at some point. I just keep not getting to it, and it is a bit chunky, which kind of puts me off a little bit, but I do really want to read it. So I'll put it on my pile of possibilities. I did check with Brie, and she said that she thought the predominant colour was white, which it is. So it won't get me any points, but it's still a book that I'd like to read. Then we have City of Dragons by Robin Hobb. This is the 3rd book in the Rainwild Chronicles, which is the 4th, I think, series in the overarching Elderling series by Robin Hobb. I really don't know how to describe this without describing the whole series and potentially giving spoilers. I'll just say that it is high epic fantasy with dragons. Amazing, amazing writing. Love Robin Hobb. Her character work is phenomenal. I am currently reading the Rainwild Chronicles because for some reason I never read the Rainwild Chronicles when I read the rest of the series, and I keep meaning to get back to it because it has been a few months since I read the 2nd book and I keep not doing it. This is a mass market paperback, I think, so it's kind of deceptively small. Robin Hobb is a pretty dense writer though, so I think this is going to be a longer one, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one and I really, really want to try and read it this month, also because it belongs to a friend of mine, so I really need to give back to him. There's another possibility. And then the final possibility is Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring-Blake. Now yes, this has green on the cover, so were I on the green team, this would give me points. I'm not on the green team, sorry Paige. But Neva put the first one, Delilah Green Doesn't Care, as one of her favourite books, and I think that if it's in a series, you get the points. So that was one of the reasons why I put it on my pile of possibilities, but I've been meaning to read this for a while. I loved Delilah Green Doesn't Care, and I really, really want to read this one. My sister did ask to borrow it the other day, and I said no because I want to read it. So I probably should read it so that she can borrow it. So this one is about Delilah from the first one, Delilah Green Doesn't Care. It's about her sister Astrid, and it's about her figuring out her sexuality and having a sapphic relationship. Don't know much more than that, but I do know that I loved Delilah Green, like I said, so I imagine I'll love this one as well. Alright, so that is my pile of possibilities for August. I am really, really excited for the amazing readathon. I think Brie has done an absolutely amazing job. She has created such a fun sounding readathon, put so much effort in, so I definitely really want to do it for supporting her reasons, but also just because it sounds like so much fun, and those are the books that I potentially will read some of. Fingers crossed. Anyway, let me know in the comments below if you're going to be participating in the amazing race, amazing readathon. What team did you decide to go with? Let me know that. Are there any particular books that you're really excited to read in the month of August? Let me know all of that in the description below. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me a yellow heart or a yellow flower emoji. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.